exist in an entire global system where one group of people wields power over most of the world to take their resources. All of that is rooted back in colonialism and imperialism, which continues to this day, right? There's this idea that we live in a post-colonial world. We don't. Like, we can keep saying this, but as long as resources are being concentrated in the hands of a few while, the vast majority of the world suffers, this is a continuation of those policies. And so we are only one group that is affected by it. Iran historically was not a country that was formally colonized. That does not mean it was immune to colonialism. It was extremely impacted by it, which is why none of its resources were in the hands of the Iranian people. Why someone like Mossadegh gets taken out by the British and the US. All of these things tie back to the structures of power that exist domestically in the United States, which impacts all other communities as well. And I will just say outright, obviously the Black community in this country more than any other, from the inception of the country, from its very founding and beginnings. And it trickles into world politics, right? So there is a very specific policy in place, and that policy is dominance. And there's a point at which we have to decide what direction do we want the sort of like world to go in. And the reason why there's that impetus and responsibility on Americans specifically of any background is because we are the most powerful country in the world, and we will dictate what direction we go in. Will we deal with global crises through nationalism, which is kind of what we've done with COVID, which is why it's been a disaster, or will we understand the premise of the things that we as a global community understood in the wake of World War I and World War II, which is that there's a different way of approaching things.